Hello everyone. This is our fifth lecture on tips for spirituality. Today I'm going to talk about faith comes from hearing. The passage for faith is hearing. The Bible is saying God is the Word. The Word becomes power for those who listen. We have ability to see, ability to talk, ability to move, and many other things. The Bible is saying faith is formed not by other ability, but by hearing. The Bible is very thick, but there is only one verse which talks about the passage of faith. A person who speaks looks for a person who listens. God created the earth with His word. From the first day till the sixth day, God says. And we can see how everything was made by His word. Because God is a spirit, He formed the passage to connect us with the word. Because the wisdom and the power of God is transferred to us through the word. If we listen to that word and believe in that word, we become connected to God. When we look into the Bible is a book formed by the promises. Promise certainly requires faith. In order for the promise to be fulfilled, the believer's action is necessary. In the Bible, God works through people and His promise, and He appears through the promise. To Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob, promise is for those who believe. Even though there is a promise, if you do not believe it, it can't become mine. Let's say there was a promise to meet at Central Railway Station at 2 p.m. If you don't believe it and do not fulfill it, I have nothing to do with the promise. We can be connected with God when our faith and the Word of God is connected. Abraham is a very important person. One day, Abraham heard the Word of God. What was the righteous of Abraham seen by God? In Romans chapter 4, Abraham believed God. It was created to him as righteousness. What God considers as righteous is the faith of believing in His promise. As we believe in this word between many people, we have been deceived a lot, and we have been hurt a lot by our own trust. That's why we feel burdened to have faith, believing in the Word of God. The common thing about people who are blessed by God in the Bible are the ones who believed in the promise and the Word. We see the future through the promise. Actually, we can't see future. We are blind towards future. Promise is something regarding about the future. For those who believe in the promise, can be free from the fear of future. Our family came to Finland 14 years ago. We didn't know the language. We didn't know anything about Finland. It wasn't difficult because of the difficult situation. What's really hard and difficult was the fear about the future. Will my life be changed even after 5 years and 10 years have passed? Will I really become better? The hopelessness is the time when a person feels most difficult. You become hard not because you got the sickness, but because of the fear about the future, which you cannot know now. You start to think, what if this sickness cannot be cured? What if I die with this sickness? Satan always comes to us with the word, what if? What if something goes wrong with me? What if it doesn't work even though I believe it? These thoughts blocks us from having faith. When the Israelites were bitten by fiery serpents and everyone was dying, God told Moses, make a bronze serpent and set it on a pole. When he looks at it, shall live. It's very simple and easy. When you look at it, you live. But who can look at it? Who can look at the bronze serpent? Those who believe in the promise of God will look and live. Even though God has prepared every salvation and every way of life, if I don't believe it, then it has nothing to do with me. It becomes power when it's connected. If a place with no oil connects with a place that has oil, we can use the oil even though there's no oil. We need to think how we can connect with God. God is a spirit. Because God is a spirit, God is connected spirit to spirit. Spirit is the heart, and God made the heart in us. Our heart is the passage to connect with God. Heart is connected through hearing. God created Adam and Eve and connected with them. Whatever God says, all his words were delivered to them as they are. They had faith. But when they listened to Satan's word, when Adam and Eve accepted the poisonous words from Satan, which is filled with doubts and mistrust and fear, their hearts are separated with God. They become connected with the thoughts of Satan and closed their hearts towards God. The poison of doubts and mistrust formed in us, which enable us to believe as it is, whatever we hear. Abraham was the ancestor of the faith. We can receive the same blessings as Abraham when we have the same faith as Abraham. There are two types in the descendants of Abraham. A person born of Abraham's descendants by blood and flesh, and a person who has the same faith as Abraham. We become the descendants of Abraham by spirit, not by flesh. What Abraham did was believing in the word of God. When he believed in the word of God, God worked in him according to his word. God is the word, and Jesus is the word that became flesh. Jesus lived in this earth for 33 years. Jesus did a lot of work on this earth and met many people. How did Jesus work with the people he met? For example, how did Jesus cure the man who was in the bed for 38 years? How did he open the eyes of the blind? How did he save the dead Lazarus? Jesus said the words. Jesus worked with the word, and anyone who listened and believed in the word was saved. We believing in the word of God is the biggest work of God. The greatest faith is believing in the word of God as it is. Also, with people, hearts can be connected when they have faith. How can a heart of a father and a heart of a son can be connected? It's when they have faith towards each other. Also with couples, their hearts are connected when they have faith towards each other's word. God wants to be our Father. What kind of position is he talking about? Becoming our Father means he wants us to believe in him. God is the Word. When we deal with the Bible, God and I are connected through faith in the Word. In Hebrews chapter 10, verse 17, it says, "Their sins and their lawless deeds I will remember no more." For those who believe in this word will surely believe that their sins will not be remembered. If I believe in this word, I will be freed from my sin and the law. You shall live if you look upon the bronze serpent. You shall live if you look upon the Jesus on the cross. Being freed from our sin is believing in Jesus who died on the cross for us. It is to believe the word. It is finished. I hope all of you will believe in the Bible. If you listen and believe in the word of God, that word will become yours. Promise is for those who believe. Thank you. I will continue my lecture in next time.